Makhachev is so good. He's so good that he head kicked Alexander Volkanovski in the rematch. He submits everybody. He submitted Dustin Poirier. He's a monster. When he gets guys on the ground, he just crushes them. And you could argue that he's dealing with a deeper talent pool. So his weight class is, in my opinion, the most talent-rich weight pool in the sport. 155 pounds is filled with assassins.
Makhachev, more wins than Khabib Nurmagomedov, more title defenses. I think we're looking at the greatest lightweight of all time.
I think you're right. When you look at his striking, that's the thing that separates him. I mean, Khabib was just an unbelievable ground and pound machine. But what Islam brings to the table is elite striking as well. I mean, his striking is as good as anybody in the sport. It just makes you wonder, like, who is in the 155-pound division that's even a compelling challenge?
We can say we may be looking at the greatest lightweight of all time, but Islam will always defer to Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Joe Rogan has just his shocking insights on the upcoming potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena. Joe Rogan highlighted Islam Makhachev's dominance in the lightweight division, emphasizing his incredible strength and skill. He described Makhachev as a formidable fighter, capable of defeating top opponents like Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier with ease.
Makhachev is so good. He's so good that he head kicked Alexander Volkanovski in the rematch. He submits everybody. He submitted Dustin Poirier. He's a monster. When he gets guys on the ground, he just crushes them.
Jack Della Maddalena noted that Islam appears physically large enough to compete comfortably at 170 pounds. However, he acknowledged that many expect Makhachev to rely heavily on takedowns and quick submissions to finish fights.
But I'm sure people are just going to assume that Islam will just take me down and submit me pretty quickly.
Do you think he'll be big enough for 170?
I think he just seems like a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
I think he'll be alright.
Jack also expressed confidence in his ability to overcome Islam, pointing out that Makhachev rarely switches stances, which could make him vulnerable to striking. He added that if he does get taken down, he's confident in his ability to return to his feet quickly.
Volkanovski's obviously fought him before.
Yep.
Will you pick Volk's brain?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely plan. After the last two fights, I've spent a bit of time in Wollongong. So yeah, I think probably the first stop, we go to Wollongong, talk to Volk, see what he reckons.
Joe Rogan further shared his amazement at Islam Makhachev's physicality, especially considering he competes at lightweight. He described Islam as unusually thick and powerful for the division, questioning how he even manages to make the 155-pound weight limit. Rogan highlighted Islam's gripping strength and smothering top control as major reasons why opponents struggle once he closes the distance.
How?
Really?
How are you 155?
Yeah.
How?
I know.
How?
I know.
He's thick as he's got a giant back.
Yeah.
And when he gets a hold of guys, it's like he's just got this leverage, this grappling squeeze that it's. I remember when he drew Dober, and like when he got Dober down to the ground, I was like, that's a.
Yeah.
It's a.
Rogan also praised the evolution of Islam's striking, saying it has progressed far beyond being just a setup for takedowns. He pointed to the head kick knockout of Alexander Volkanovski as a clear sign of Islam's improved timing and fight IQ. Rogan added that Volkanovski taking that fight on short notice made the finish even more impressive, underlining how dangerous and well-rounded Islam has become.
He's a threat everywhere. Like when he knocked out Volk with that high kick.
Yeah,
And
that was
granted, crazy. But granted, if I was in
10
Volk's
days.
corner, I would say, no.
I know.
You're not taking it. You've been drinking beer and eating kebabs. Like, there's no way you're taking this fight on 10 days' notice. I don't care how confident you are. I don't care how much you like fighting. That's a crazy thing. I don't care how much money they're paying you. Because you look at the slide that his career took, right? He arguably won that first fight with Islam. Very close fight. Loses a decision. Or was it a draw?
It was a decision. Was it a draw? That's actually a good question.
Meanwhile, Muhammad Makhachev remains optimistic about a potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. He believes the matchup would gain even more significance if both fighters become champions in their respective divisions, turning a catchweight bout into a highly anticipated and thrilling contest.
Now, for example, Islam fights Ilia and he beats him. Example, people say he beat another 145er, but Islam wins the title now at welterweight, and then Ilia beats Oliveira. That's even bigger fights to create, right? So I don't think Islam needs to slow down his career. He go take even they strip his belt off, in my opinion, he will be double champion, because that's how it started. If Conor could, why Islam can't, you know? And I think it create bigger name for them if this way better, rather than Islam fight Topuria and the hype slows down, you know what I mean? I rather see Islam becomes the champion, Ilia Topuria becomes the champion, and they can fight at catchweight for the, I don't know, whatever they want, you know.
Javier Mendez made it clear that Islam Makhachev's camp is fully aware of Jack Della Maddalena's threat and will not take him lightly. Highlighting Jack's intense battle with Belal Muhammad, Mendez praised both fighters' toughness and noted how their team, including Khabib Nurmagomedov, is well prepared for Jack's skills and resilience. He stressed that underestimating Jack would be a major mistake, as they recognize his danger and are strategizing accordingly.
You know, if we as coaches think Jack is easier, we're stupid.
Yep.
We are very stupid. Then we didn't watch the Belal fight, because Belal can take a hell of a shot. He can take a hell of a shot, and he took him. And he gave him two. Belal gave him two. So it was a war. That fight was a war. And you know what? For us to think it's an easy fight for us, you know, what kind of idiot coaches are we? Habib's not an idiot, and neither am I. And neither is Magomed, neither is Saif Safullah and Muhammad, the other coaches that they work with Islam. We're not stupid.
Mendez also pointed out that Jack holds a size advantage over Islam and is especially dangerous due to his versatile striking, mixing powerful kicks to the head, body, and legs. While he acknowledged Ilia Topuria's superior boxing, he emphasized that Islam's success would depend on perfect preparation or Jack having an off night. Mendez expects a challenging, high-level contest with no easy victories.
We know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a much bigger guy and just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, in different variations. Not boxing, because I think Topuria's got the best boxing in the business. I still believe that. But Jack is well versed in the kicking and the arsenal, how he mixes it up. He's really good at head and body, leg, everything. He's really, really good at that. So we have our hands cut out for us. It's not an easy fight at all. If Islam, by some miracle of a chance, makes that fight to be like slam dunk, it's because we were properly prepared, or Jack wasn't as prepared, or Jack was injured, or Jack just got caught. But it's gonna be one of those fights. It's not easy. No way in hell is that fight gonna be easy. Very tough fight.
Despite the challenges, Mendez remains confident in Islam's ability to overcome Jack. He believes Islam is motivated, versatile in grappling and striking, and will stick strictly to the game plan. Mendez warned that Jack has never faced a fighter like Islam before, promising fans a thrilling fight if it happens.
I just know Islam wants this one, and he can do it all. Can he take Jack down? Absolutely, he can take him down. Can he outstrike Jack? Absolutely, he can outstrike him. He may be a better deal to do what Belal should have done and what he didn't do. And that's something I know that Islam will do, because he's never not listened to us. And also, the weight, Islam won't be a small guy. He'll be a decent welterweight. Islam is a whole different animal than the Jack's ever been involved with. So if that fight does materialize, we're going to see a hell of a fight.
In contrast, Navajo Sterling boldly predicted that Jack Della Maddalena would easily defeat Islam in his first welterweight title defense. Sterling argued that Jack's size and power would neutralize Islam's wrestling advantage, which dominated at lightweight. He also claimed that a Jack victory would overshadow any potential Islam versus Topuria matchup, expecting Islam to have a difficult night.
You picked JDM to win. Now he's got a big challenge in his first title defense against Islam. Do you think he's got what it takes to beat an Islam Makhachev in his first defense?
People are going to say it's a wild take, but I reckon JDM smokes Islam, shins him so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Topuria Islam thing will just be gone.
Do you think Islam's wrestling won't be a threat to JDM just because he's a lot bigger?
He's a lot bigger, and like when you watch JDM, like you put him on the end of mid-range, he's just going to throw. It's hard to like shoot in on. He's not going to be able to just abuse his size against him either. I think Islam's in for a rude awakening.
Ian Gary weighed in on the potential matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, calling it a difficult fight to predict. He acknowledged Makhachev's elite all-around skill set, but noted that jumping up 15 pounds to welterweight could affect the fight's dynamics. Gary highlighted how Volkanovski, despite being much smaller than Jack, still pushed Islam to the limit. He believes Jack's sharp boxing and solid takedown defense make him a legitimate threat, though Islam still enters as the favorite due to his grappling dominance and high fight IQ.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Daniel Cormier offered tactical advice to Islam, suggesting that he'll need to refine his wrestling ahead of a potential bout with Jack Della Maddalena. Cormier pointed out that Islam had difficulty taking down Dustin Poirier and emphasized Jack's recent improvements in takedown defense. He warned that unless Islam adjusts and sharpens his grappling game, Jack's ability to stay on his feet and strike could pose real problems in a high-stakes welterweight clash.
Islam Jack is going to be a great fight, especially seeing Jack defend takedowns in the way that he did. And Islam, he struggled a little to take down Dustin Poirier. He didn't take him down as easily as he had taken down other guys. So I think that for Makhachev, he needs to really lock in on getting that wrestling ready to fight a guy in Jack Della Maddalena who showed great takedown defense. And, man, this dude's got some good boxing, especially when you're in tight with him. His hands are good in close.
Robert Whittaker openly admitted his bias toward fellow Australian Jack Della Maddalena, but still backed it up with technical reasoning. He pointed to Jack's size advantage, his underappreciated jiu-jitsu, and his unorthodox angular striking as key weapons. Whittaker emphasized that Islam Makhachev won't have an easy time securing takedowns and warned that Jack's sharp boxing and punishing body shots could disrupt Islam's rhythm and pose real danger throughout the fight.
Why does he beat Islam in your opinion?
I'm biased as heck.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, okay? But Jack's bigger. Jack's a little, he's a little bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu, which means it won't be free. The takedowns won't be free. Being on top of him won't be free. Not to mention, Jack has really good hands, and if he can keep it into that mid-range, into that distance that he likes, make it awkward. He's very good at not only punching straight lines but punching up. So his hooks, his uppercuts, he mixes it really well. He works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. You know, I think there's enough angles there to give Islam trouble.
Israel Adesanya echoed similar confidence in Jack, citing his size, strength, and constant scrambles as major factors that could frustrate Islam's game. He suggested that if Makhachev can't control Jack on the ground early, the fight could swing quickly in the Australian's favor due to his relentless striking pressure.
And also seeing Della, and also I've only spotted Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's
even
good
watching him
scrambles.
with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns. His scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm not standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
Dense,
think,
man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, we're sparring, and then it's just a weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body banging, man, good.
Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski added that Jack's composure under wrestling threats and his rising confidence from past matchups with strong grapplers make him a legitimate threat to halt Islam's momentum at welterweight.
Jack Della and what he did him with Bilal is he will, you get people that are worried about the takedown. So and then they don't fight their fight on the feet. I'm gonna fight my fight and worry about the takedown when it's there.
Exactly.
And that's perfect. You need to be like that. For me, like with Islam, was like, I'm gonna do my thing. Yeah, I'll be worried about it, but at the same time, find the shots to go in, boom, boom, boom. But I'll worry about the takedown when they're
Later
there. But
on,
I'll still
once
commit
you
to
realize
things.
you can handle it, then you were just like, this shit, I can handle it.
And the confidence Jack Della is going to have now from getting through that, even though he's going to be confident. And then there's another one when you're successful with guys that are very dominant there. when you have the success there, then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now you end up even that much better at the takedown, and then he's going to do a lot. We're actually going to get a bit of training in and that as well. Like obviously he's going to do
over there.
Hey,
you going over there?
He'll probably come over here, or maybe we'll get we'll see. I might even go over there, whatever they want. I'm happy to do whatever.
Khabib Nurmagomedov called Jack Della Maddalena potentially the toughest test of Islam Makhachev's career. He highlighted Jack's size advantage over fighters like Ilia Topuria and praised his striking and grappling as well-rounded and dangerous. Khabib explained that if he had to choose between preparing Islam for Topuria or Maddalena, Jack would be the more concerning opponent due to the physicality and skill set he brings to the table.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в Ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Маддалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Маддалена.
Max Holloway also voiced support for Jack Della Maddalena, saying fans and analysts are underestimating him despite his elite status and high pound-for-pound ranking. He noted that the potential matchup in October promises to be not only tactical, but also exciting. Holloway emphasized that Jack's skills, experience, and composure make him a serious threat, one who shouldn't be overlooked against a dominant fighter like Islam Makhachev.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is going to find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So, I mean, he is, you know, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason, so you got to respect that, but you know, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Sean O'Malley called the showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena a high-level bout, but said a potential clash between Islam and Ilia Topuria would draw even more attention. He credited Islam's performance over Belal Muhammad for fueling anticipation around the Jack fight. O'Malley added that if Jack can neutralize the takedowns and connect with clean shots, the momentum of the fight could swing in his direction.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Belal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt. Who gives him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Jack Hermanson commented on the uncertainty that comes with a fighter moving up in weight, while he acknowledged Islam's near-perfect run at lightweight and rated him as the current pound-for-pound best. He's not convinced Islam can dominate at welterweight. Though Hermanson was impressed by Jack's performance against Belal Muhammad, he feels it's still too early to determine Jack's full potential at the top level.
So hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, you know, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just like maybe the pound for pound best. It's just so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we need to see a few more fights with Jack. He looked amazing against Belal, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's something about Islam is just so good.
Philip Rowe expressed strong belief in Jack Della Maddalena's chances, predicting a win over Islam Makhachev. He argued that Islam doesn't have the frame to dominate the bigger welterweights, and said Jack's knockout power and ability to scramble back to his feet would be too much. Rowe confidently predicted a finish before the final round.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chillin'.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight. You've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop Islam.
Charles Oliveira also recognized Jack as a serious threat, pointing to his composed, methodical approach and how he steadily broke down Belal without rushing. Still, Oliveira anticipates Islam will stick to his grappling heavy strategy, saying the result likely hinges on Jack's ability to keep the fight standing and land consistently.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Dustin Poirier weighed in on the potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, predicting that the outcome would be determined in the early rounds. He explained that if Islam is able to land takedowns in the first or second frame, he'll likely control the fight and secure a victory. However, if Jack successfully defends the takedowns, Poirier believes his crisp boxing and physical strength could put Islam in serious trouble. He also pointed out that Islam's striking often appears awkward, not necessarily due to poor technique, but because opponents are so focused on the takedown threat that they can't fully commit to their own combinations.
Do you think he beats Jack Della Maddalena?
I think we'll find out first, second round how much trouble he has getting him down. I think if he gets those takedowns, he's gonna get the win. If Jack can stop those takedowns, which he does have good takedown defense, I think the boxing and the size could wear on Islam and give him some problems. But his striking's, awkward and different. You have to worry so much about the takedown. You can't plant your feet and throw off those number combinations and really rip and sit on your punches because he's going to change levels. So it changes the way you fight. Well, for me, it did. I'm speaking from experience. So we'll see how Jack approaches and how Jack executes out there. But if you're worried about takedowns, your shots are different. You're not sitting on everything and standing in front of the guy. You're trying to move and be light on your feet. I think the first 2 rounds will tell us how this fight's gonna go.
Gilbert Burns supported Islam Makhachev's decision to move up to welterweight, saying the cut to 155 pounds had become too difficult and that Islam likely belongs at the higher weight. He praised Islam as one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in MMA, but acknowledged that Jack Della Maddalena poses serious threats. Burns highlighted Jack's work with high-level training partners like Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski as key preparation. He warned that Islam can't underestimate Jack's striking precision and ability to remain composed under pressure, predicting a tightly contested matchup.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proven himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're gonna have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.